Hi, Murray. It's great to have you here again today. So we've been recording a number of videos that we've been uploading to our YouTube channel about, partnerships, collaborations, different types of projects, the way Eigen work, and we've been also focused on a lot of the Eigen products as well. So today's video really is to talk about Lundin and the relationship that you have with them and the work that you have been undertaking with them. And I think it'd be really interesting because I know that this has been an ongoing relationship that you have been building over time, and they were early adopters of a product pre-Ingenuity. So I think it'd be really interesting for people to understand kind of how that relationship came about and what that journey has looked like over the last, is it a few years?
Yes, that's right. It goes back to 2015.
Wow, okay.
We first started working with them.
Amazing.
That's right.
All right. Well, let's explore that. Let's explore, what happened in 2015. Where did the relationship begin?
Well, great. So we were introduced to Lundin to initially solve the problem of making some information visible. The question was, how can we just help people to have an easy access to status? So the dream was, you come in the morning, 30 seconds, I get a quick overview of what's happening today. Is it okay? Are there any incidents that's going to disrupt my day? So if I come in, production stable, and I can see, okay, I'll be fine today, I can get on with my normal work. But if you can see that there's been some interruptions overnight, then there's probably going to be some investigations or root cause analysis or some meetings, and you're at least prepared. And it also helps the whole company understand what's happening offshore, because for a lot of people this is their most important asset, but what's going on day to day is not obvious to them. So just a simple thing of seeing, well, what's the trend of current production is surprisingly hard for a lot of people to find, because you have to understand what systems it's in and how to get that up and to view it. So just to have a set of dashboards that showed current information from various systems on the wall was brilliant. And so that's what we did as the initial thing.
And then let's look to where you are today, and then we'll talk to everybody about what happened in the middle next. But yeah, so now we're in 2020. It's 5 years later. You still have a good relationship with Lundin. What does your partnership look like now?
That's right. We absolutely love the work we do with Lundin. The culture's fabulous, and we get to try new things, and it moves forward step by step. So after the dashboards, there was some expansion to that, pulling in other systems. And then we installed the full Ingenuity platform, which gives users a chance to access information, make their own dashboards, and start to automate work processes. One of the first ones we did was automating the morning meeting. So it's a manually intensive process, copying information to make a report, reviewing it with people, and then sending out different versions of it. It takes senior leadership time to do. It's a bit tedious, but it's extremely important. They've got to do it. But because you're copying and pasting, it's easy to make errors as well. So you've got a using up people's time issue and a quality issue. So by automating that, we save time and increase quality for it. And then the distribution. So rather than people creating an internal version, say, and then having to edit that, put it in a different format, send it to head office or externally to partners, now all of that's just automated. So you get a much slicker process. Same, people spend their time doing the important work of discussing the content and agreeing it, and the boring stuff is just handled now. So that was great, but that took a while to get working, because you find in these daily processes there's a lot of nuance, because a morning meeting, it has to flex to deal with the issues of the day. If something comes up, you need to deal with it. You need to bring that information in. So on the surface it looks straightforward, but the reality is where it was a challenge. That's gone very well. We've developed mobile apps. We've now got 2 mobile apps working. We've expanded the dashboarding. We've integrated to other systems. So as well as, say, live production, you can now see a live view of the people on the platform, which is really important for communicating with people. When you can see a picture of someone, oh, that person is offshore, you're actually more likely to get in touch with them. Whereas if you don't know the name of the person in that position, then to find it, you have to go into a spreadsheet and look up another system for their number. It's just another barrier to communication. So it was another thing that it seemed fairly small steps, but it just made a big difference in the sense of one team, I guess, within the organization.
Okay. I know you know how I find all this very fascinating, so I think it's amazing. And what I really, really love is the fact that you began working with each other back in 2015, and Lundin became early adopters of a product that then has become such a huge part of Eigen and as part of your the solutions you provision for your customers. What I also love is the fact that you've gone on this journey together. And you know, as you have grown and gone on this journey together, you're understanding Lundin's business and the changes that are happening within that business in order to be able to deliver solutions to meet that. And I think, as we've talked about before, there's been a significant journey from Eigen's side in terms of how your products have developed over time, and they have developed in accordance with the needs of your customers. So I think
that's right. That's exactly it. And that one thing I should mention is the safety barriers aspect, because that's one of the more recent deliveries that we've done with them, and that was built on the work we did with E&I, as it was now Vore Energy, when we built the safety barrier panel for Goliath. That then was deployed on Edvard Grieg, and that brought together a lot of the steps we'd gone on before. So combining, for example, the asset model. So in Lundin, we built the digital asset model that links systems together and also describes how all the information is connected. So we were able to add into that a model of their safety barriers, and then the big this wasn't breakthrough, but the big functionality that we were able to deliver was the ability to model or represent status in different contexts. This could be a really dry subject, but it's one of these things.
It's all right. I'll keep interrupting you, I'm sure.
Well, it's one of these things that you don't think about, but people see things from different directions. And so if you say, well, I want to see a green traffic light, well, green for one person is not necessarily green for someone else, because someone who oversees an entire area may not care about an individual piece of equipment. They want to know, well, is the whole area green at a certain level? And again, you might be looking at the area in terms of production. Have we got enough production? But if you're responsible for, say, the maintenance, well, you want to get a warning when you've got some overdue maintenance. It's not broken, so it's not red, but you want a warning. And so different people's understanding of what red or green is different. And so in order to have a single view of the truth, you need to be able to represent truth for different people. And that's something that the digital model was able to do. And we have this idea of status context. So we can demonstrate the status based on your role and your perspective on the information. And that was huge.
I don't think that's dry at all. I think it makes perfect sense. You're essentially delivering a view and data on that view, depending on the lens that people have.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So and that's right. I think, you know, whether it's within oil and gas tech, it doesn't matter. I think that's what people care about, as much as we're trying to get people to look up and be a little bit more holistic. It makes perfect sense.
This is it. And I think this is why people can talk at a contextual level, but when it comes to implementation, you get this clash of lenses that to try and make the one system that rules them all is extremely difficult, because again, truth is different depending on what your responsibility is.
Are we going to start having a strap line for each of your products now, my precious?
What? One ring to rule them all.
No,
it's not that.
I love this. And so if you look ahead at the relationship, I mean, in terms of what are you working on now, and what are you working on now really with Lundin?
So the aim now is to try and expand the benefits of, so we got some very low hanging fruit. For example, the ability for everyone just to see status of the organization. But how do you take that to the next level and say, well, now what's the important stuff for me to deal with? So yes, I now understand where we are as an organization, but now in my daily work, what are the things that I need to focus on today? And again, that can involve trawling through different systems to understand, well, where are my safety actions? What contracts do I need to look at? What are the technical investigations I need to do? What's the planning I need to do? So how can we help people to understand? So find the needle in the haystack for them, I guess. So eliminate the time searching for stuff and just know, okay, these are the key actions for me. This is the important stuff, so I can prioritize. So the use of people's time is much more efficient in it, because I think there's a lot of low-hanging fruit still to be had around getting the most value out of your people.
Yeah, and we've talked before about the knowledge and experience that you're able to bring to your projects, and I think actually having the longevity that you've had, because 5 years that's a long relationship, and so actually you're able to take all that knowledge and that experience through that process, and then right. Hopefully embark on the next level of your journey together. What have you enjoyed most about the relationship, and what have you learned?
I think one of the things I've enjoyed most is the very sort of real human contact, and the fact that it's genuine people trying to solve problems. There's a very much focus on what challenge do we need to solve? What's a good way of doing it? Could we maybe try this? Let's do a small step. Let's not worry about having sorted the whole thing out. Let's just do this piece, and then if this works in a good way, we could do the next bit. And you find that so many things become clear as you take those steps, and then people get engaged and new ideas come in, and so there's like a firing ideas off each other as well.
I think it's amazing, and I've very much enjoyed our conversation. I know that we only ever have short bite-sized video discussions around this, and there's always so much more to explore, and I know that we've got hopefully further conversations around the relationship you have with Lundin coming up. And I'm excited to learn more and be able, for us to be able to share that on Eigen TV, as I call it, for our YouTube channel, which is great. But thank you, Murray. It's honestly been a brilliant conversation, and I know I learned quite a lot from the discussions that we have, and I promise no more Lord of the Rings references.
I think it's good if I can be Aragorn, then I'm happy. Not sure I want to be associated with Gollum. Yeah, that's right.
I love that. Oh no, it's wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And for everybody who's watching video at the moment, please, if you've got any questions, then just add them to the comments below. Share the videos. Let people know that we've got this series running. And obviously, if you want to participate as well, by all means, please, we'd love to hear from you.
Great. Thanks, Effie.
My pleasure.